So we will continue with the next part. We have a hierarchy of courts for two things, okay? Like India we have plus England as well. Both these two countries we have hierarchy of courts. So what is hierarchy of courts?
Or levels of court. Levels of court.
Levels of court. Okay. So what is the hierarchy of courts in India?
Supreme Court, High Court, District Court. District Court.
Yes. So Supreme Court, High Court, District Court, like that we have in case of India. And in case of England also same ways, we have a different set of hierarchy. Okay, so courts are again the primary institution that deals with administration of justice, that deals with all the implementation of laws and everything, right? Like application of the laws, interpretation of laws and everything. So different countries will have a different set of courts and they will accordingly be given powers and functions. Like if you talk about Supreme Court of India, how it functions, what are its powers and everything, it may be different as compared to other countries' topmost court, because powers and functions will be given under specific legislations. Like in case of India, we do have so many legislations relating to Supreme Court. We have so many legislations relating to all the 25 different high courts. Okay, so there, even though it's primarily the constitution that provides for establishment of courts and what would be different types of courts functions and stuff, also we have specific legislations to deal with those matters in detail. Okay, for Supreme Court you will see provisions are given, a lot of provisions are given in constitution, but apart from that we have tons of legislations which specify the things in a lot more in an elaborate way. Okay, so when we talk about hierarchy of courts in England, we can say that there are 5 different levels of courts that are there in England. First of all, we have Supreme Court, which is again topmost court in England. After that, they have Court of Appeal. Okay, so when we talk about Court of Appeal, there are 2 divisions, civil as well as criminal division. Okay, in case of India, we see that the civil criminal division exists only at subordinate courts. When we talk about High Court or Supreme Court, they deal with both the matters, right? One single court dealing with both the matters. So here it is being specified, Supreme Court. Then we have Court of Appeals, where there are 2 divisions, civil and criminal. Then we have High Courts, courts where Queen's Bench division, family division, chancery division. And after that we have again, like for these 3, right, it's same kind of court, one court dealing with everything, but here we have 2 different divisions. Like for criminal as well as civil, we have 2 classifications: country court, magistrate court, crown court, tribunal court. Okay, so when we talk about these 5 hierarchy in detail, Supreme Court, which was previously known as House of Lords as well. So Supreme Court is the highest court in England, and it hears appeals from Court of Appeal, as in the next subordinate court, which it is having from Court of Appeal. If any party is aggrieved by the decision, they will go to Supreme Court. But there are some specific provisions wherein in exceptional cases from High Court also directly the matter may go to the Supreme Court. So appeals are normally heard by 5 justices, but there may be as many as 9 justices as well. Court of Appeal, there are again, it is the second category of court in terms of hierarchy. There are 2 different divisions, civil as well as criminal. Parties who are aggrieved by decisions given in Court of Appeal, they can go for appeal in the Supreme Court as well. High Court is again 3rd category of courts in England. High Court consists of 3 divisions dealing with 3 different types of matters that we see. Then we have Country Court or Crown Court. Country courts deal with civil matters such as claim for repayment of debts, breach of contract involving goods or property, personal injury, family issues including adoption, divorce, etc., Housing issues like mortgage, rent arrears, repossession, decisions of country courts may be appealed to the appropriate division of High Court. We also have Crown's Court dealing with criminal matters which are transferred from magistrate court. So magistrate or tribunals, from there it may be transferred, including hearing of serious criminal cases such as murder, rape, robbery, etc. So this is like more or less what we have in sessions court, right? From magistrate courts, cases would go for sessions court in case of India. Same ways it happens here as well when we talk about Crown Court. Then we have magistrates courts and tribunal, like we have in case of India as well. We have magistrate courts, we have for civil matters as well, we have district courts, right? Additional district judge and all that we have. Similar kind of, this is the fifth hierarchy of court in case of England. Criminal decisions of magistrate courts may be appealed to Crown's Court, the next level court, it can be appealed. Civil decisions would go to country court. The tribunals make decision on matters including asylum, migration, criminal injuries, compensation, social security, education, employment, child support, pension, tax, etc. And decisions of tribunals again may be appealed to appropriate matters. So division, we have again different types of hierarchy, and all these different set of courts are being established so that same things are not being repeated in like higher courts. Like take for example, when a matter goes in for appeal, right, to a higher court, they would not do the entire trial process from starting to end, but they will only see that whether evidences were recorded properly or not, whether witnesses were examined properly or not, but it was fair process or not. Those things they would see, right? So appeals or other matters would take lesser time as compared to the full-fledged trial where it goes on in a subordinate court, right? So similar kind of process we have in case of England also. So you can remember this particular chart which explains the process or the hierarchy that we see in case of England. Okay, so there are 5 different sets we have, but in case we compare it with India, here we have this particular division. Okay, again this, I will put it in the next page. Okay, so this is how the classification is in case of India. So how many high courts do we have in India?
25.
How many?
25.
25, yes, correct. So again, this is hierarchy of courts in case of India. First, we have Supreme Court. Then we have 25 different high courts, and provisions are given in Constitution. If you see Supreme Court, it comes under Union executive provisions are there. High Court, it comes under state judiciary provisions are there. Union judiciary provisions are there. Then we have all these lower courts that we see, right? All these are called as subordinate court. As such, if you look at the Constitution, it do not specify names of each and every single subordinate court because their names are slightly, okay, their names might slightly vary from state to state. But more or less, this is what the classification is. So if you look at Constitution of India, you see a mention that these are subordinate courts, and it includes all these different types of courts that are established in a certain area. Okay, so Supreme Court, High Court. After that, we have classification based on whether it is a metropolitan area or it is some other area. Okay, in case of metropolitan area, names are kind of similar. In case of other areas, names are a little bit similar, but more or less function is same only. Okay. So we have city civil court, sessions court, we have district court, sessions court. This is for criminal division, this is for civil division. Same ways, this is civil, this is for criminal division. Okay, we have court of smaller causes, we have senior civil judge, principal, junior civil judge court, chief metropolitan court, metropolitan magistrate court, judicial magistrate, first class, second class. So sessions would be like the topmost. After that, we have chief metropolitan magistrate. Below that, we have metropolitan magistrate court. So metropolitan magistrate would be like the lower level courts. On top of it, we have chief metropolitan court. So chief metropolitan magistrate, they are given a lot of powers under CRPC as well, right? Code of Criminal Procedure. You see, if you see, a lot of powers and functions are being given to them that they can take a decision, they can refer something to, like it's subordinate courts that you see whether this complaint is a genuine one or not, whether this cause of action is valid or not, do some inquiry like that. Powers may be delegated to conduct some inquiries and stuff as well. So this is how the classification looks like in case of India. Okay, again, Supreme Court of India is like the supreme judicial body in India, highest court under Constitution, and decisions of Supreme Court are binding on all courts in India. What is this concept called that Supreme Court's decision will be binding on all subordinate courts? What is this concept? Previously decided cases will be binding. What is this concept? Precedent. Yes, correct. So is it only Supreme Court's decision are binding, or which all courts' decisions are binding?
Ma'am, in case Supreme Court cases are binding to every other case, High Court cases can be considered, and ma'am, that's it. And High Court cases are also binding to lower courts.
Okay. So is it binding on all lower courts?
No, ma'am. I think it's binding to the court of that particular district.
Yes, correct. So is Supreme Court bound by its own decision?
No, ma'am. It is. It can consider it, but it is not bound by its own decision.
Yeah. So Supreme Court, you are correct. Supreme Court's decision. What are benches?
Ma'am, benches are the group of judges that sit for a particular case and make the decision.
Yes. So there may be different number of like judges who are sitting to decide a case, right? So for Supreme Court, what happens is, if it is a decision given by higher number of judges, like take for example, a decision given by a bench of 9 judges, that decision will be binding on any other bench which is lower than 9 judges. Okay, so for Supreme Court, we have anyways a concept, entire topic on precedent. We will see that part also. So that is how it is. Rest everything you have said correctly. High Court's decision, other high courts can consider it. If they are not considering, well and good, no problem. But it is binding on its subordinate court of that certain jurisdiction where the High Court applies. Their subordinate courts are bound by its decision. Correct. So decision given by Supreme Court are binding. Again, when we talk about jurisdiction of Supreme Court, it deals with a lot of different matters. Okay, apart from deciding cases and all, it even some important points or questions of law, right? That also may be referred to it by precedent. And if Supreme Court feels that, okay, maybe we should comment here, we should give some suggestions or anything, Supreme Court can do that. That is nothing but like advisory jurisdiction, right? It has writ jurisdiction, so many different types of jurisdictions it is having. So topmost Supreme Court located in New Delhi. After that, we have High Courts, which is the second category of courts in India. Total of 25 high courts we have as of now. When we look at Constitution of India again, it says ideally we should be having one high court for each state, but if it is not there, okay, then also it's well and good. One high court can function for more than one state also, like we see in case of Guwahati High Court, it is functioning for more than one state. In case of High Court of Punjab and Haryana, it works for Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh. So that is also completely fine. They can work for more than one state as well. Then we have the subordinate courts, right? For all the subordinate courts, the Constitution itself mentions that it is the High Court. Okay, High Court should be seeing what all are the requirements of subordinate court, what things are needed. High Court should basically take care of its subordinate courts. Okay, that is why you would see judiciary exam, you all know, right?
Yes.
Okay, so who conducts those judiciary examination?
Ma'am, state level also and I think central level also.
Yeah, state level, who conducts it? Take for example, Karnataka judiciary, who will conduct it?
Karnataka High Court.
Karnataka High Court, correct. Karnataka High Court would conduct that particular exam for appointment of judges, for appointment of magistrate in subordinate courts. Why? Because High Court is having a responsibility. If there is some vacancy and all, High Court will be doing it. Mostly we see not just about judicial officers, there are some other posts as well, right? Like typist, so many other posts are there, right? Clerk, peon, and all those things. Those also most of the times we see High Court is publishing the notification. High Court would be conducting examination and everything, because being a superior court, High Court is having a responsibility to take care of all its subordinate courts. Okay, during COVID, first wave of COVID also we had seen what happened, right? Like Supreme Court realized that, okay, fine, there is nationwide lockdown, courts are closed. Now there are some important matters where court should be functioning. It's not possible that court would be shut down for an entire year. That is not practically possible. So they thought that we should come up with some guidelines on how can we function digitally, right? Because traditionally courts, everything would be done physically, right? But they said that, okay, fine, how is it possible that we can switch to like a virtual mode, right? So Supreme Court gave some guidelines also. They took up the matter, they discussed, decided, and they gave some guidelines that this is how we can function, or we can switch to a digital mode. But at the same time, they said that each of the specific states, right, they are having their own problems, own issues, own difficulties. So they said that these are like general rules that we are mentioning, but High Court is having an obligation that they should see what is the situation prevailing in their particular state, and based on that, they need to give guidelines to the states, like the subordinate courts, that maybe this is the platform or mode that you should be using for online hearing of cases. This is how you should do it. This is how records should be kept. All those guidelines, High Courts were given the duty that you need to communicate it. You need to help, assist, whatever is needed to your subordinate courts. And you need to ensure that things can work virtually. Okay, so this is nothing but again, responsibility or obligation on the High Court, that it would look after all its subordinate courts. So subordinate courts, when we talk about it, these are again divided based on civil and criminal classification. We have different set of courts, their powers, functions, how the court would work, what is the process and everything given in two respective legislations, right? Procedural laws. What are those laws? CPC and CRPC explains in detail what will be the process and everything, right? So same ways we have for metropolitan as well as other areas. Court names might vary a little bit. Even the case type also might vary. Okay, like same kind of cases you might be filing in Bombay, another one maybe you are filing in Gujarat. Name may slightly vary, but otherwise the process is almost same only. Okay, so when you look at different types of cases filed in a certain court, you would see some name is given. Okay, like complaint case, calendar case, criminal miscellaneous case, bail application, like that some names would be given. Those names might vary a little bit, but otherwise the process is almost same only that we see. Okay, again, the main purpose of having this hierarchy is to ensure that there is no, like, oh, we can reduce the burden from different level of courts. That's why we see that all these subordinate court, these are nothing but like trial courts. Entire trial would go on properly, everything will be seen in detail. But when the matter goes for appeal and stuff to a higher court, there they would not see each and everything. They would see everything was done properly or not, right? If they see any kind of irregularities, any kind of problems, they can also refer the matter back that this certain thing was not done properly. Maybe you need to redo it, right? You need to do this particular trial again. Those kind of provisions also we do see in the legislations. So this is how the hierarchy of courts is. Is this part clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So you can remember the chart, which is like important. After that explanation part, anyways, you know what is High Court, Supreme Court, you can write that as well, right? You can also mention that, okay, fine, for how the court would function, we have CPC, we have CRPC, plus in that specific legislation, apart from that, we have Limitation Act, we have Indian Evidence Act, everything we have the processes mentioned, right? What would be the powers and functions of a certain high court, how it will function. For that, again, we have specific legislations, right? If you are interested, you can also visit like Supreme Court's website, and maybe just for reference, you can also visit High Court of Karnataka's website. There you would get a lot more details as well. Okay, like judges and chief justice, right? This list also you would get how many judges are there at present, total number you would get, including Chief Justice of India, 32, right? So all these details also you can mention. In this part, right to information part, there also a lot of things are given, like annual report, monthly report, all these things again give you some information.
Ma'am, regarding exams, I have one question.
Yeah.
Ma'am, actually, I've been reading from your notes. So, do I need to read the whole books also? Like, our teacher prescribed us the books The Idea of Law by Dennis Lloyd and Nature of Law by Evan Watson. But I have found this guide from library by Dr. Davis. I was thinking to refer to that, ma'am, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to complete the whole book. Okay. So would it be okay if I just read your notes?
See, one thing is that how much can you write in the exam? That is again one thing. Okay, these notes are like in a simple language, and if you think that okay, maybe you can write more than this also, what is given here, you can always add on to this. Okay, like take for example, you want to refer that guidebook. Okay, might be you don't want to refer the textbook, you want to refer the guidebooks. It's fine. Take for example, you are reading this particular topic, kinds of civil wrong. You can add here and there, you can add 1 or 2 sentences. You can always like try to improvise. If you feel that okay, this is something more than this I can write, you can always add 1-2 sentences here and there. And it's not like if you are referring a textbook, exact same thing you need to read and exact same thing you need to write. You can take those 2 books also, your guidebook also, this notes also. If you feel that okay, this certain information I like from the guidebook, you can take that also. this certain information I like from the textbook, you can take that also. You can always improvise on your, like question, answer, and you can write in your own ways as well. No harm in that. If you feel that, okay, fine, maybe I can give some more information on this point, family disputes, you can always add that. It's always good if you improvise on that particular thing. For that, you can refer to a number of books as well.
Ma'am, it's not about how much I can, but it's more like I won't be able to complete any book. As of for now, if I start, I have started from your notes. I have read all of them as much as possible, but I have not read enough from the book.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not like you need to read from page number 1 to last. If you are reading one particular topic from here, right? If you feel that maybe I can add something, that specific topic you can open from the book also. From there, you can add 2-3 sentences, 2-3 informations. Like that also you can do. Okay, so one specific topic, if you feel that, okay, today I'm reading this particular topic, you can open your guidebook, textbook, whatever you have. From there, you can add some information, and then you can just make your own notes or prepare your own way. Are you taking printouts, or how are you studying?
Yes, ma'am, I've taken printouts of all the notes you provided.
Taken printouts, okay.
And I have the book.
Okay, so anyways, I have left enough of space here and there, right? So you can add maybe one sentence you want to add here. You can add here on sides. You can add. You can read like that as well. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. Ma'am, what about for KSLU?
Yeah, KSLU only. This is based on KSLU syllabus itself.
So will these answers be sufficient?
That only I'm saying. See, these are from all the previous year question papers I have taken. Apart from that, if you feel you have time, you can add, you can improvise, you can always do that. But these are, I have taken from 3-4 previous year question papers. So this cover almost everything. But you are always free to improvise.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, before we continue, I wanted to inform you about my live mentorship program for LLB students or law aspirants. Law subjects and law topics need detailed clarity. We get that with the help of cases, examples, and detailed explanation. It's definitely not possible to include everything in these short videos. If you find my videos easy to understand and you are looking for some professional help in preparing for your examination, you can join my live mentorship program. Here you will be getting exam tips, answer writing skills, detailed notes that you can refer for your examination, cases, examples, and in a very easy way, topics will be explained. I have live classes going on for a lot of subjects as of now. To know more about it, you can drop me a message on this WhatsApp number. I'm also helping a lot of students in writing their assignments. If you need any such help or for any queries, any suggestions, you can drop me a message on this WhatsApp number. And now let's continue with our video.